The sad reality is that so few people actually get what I'm going to talk about in this video. So few people actually get the concept of risk. And the more money that I've made on my journey, going from 0 to 10K, 10K, 20K, 30K to 40K, 40K to 50K, like every single income jump that I've had and the more successful people that I surround myself with, every single time I see this kind of fun concept where successful people, they have this way of operating, way of viewing the world that's completely different than the normal person. And they almost like look at the normal person and like laugh at them. I've seen this so many times with guys that I know that make 100, 200, 300K a month, and they look at like normies, like normal people. Maybe you're watching this video right now, he's like in a 9 to 5 or in school, who hasn't seen success yet. And they look at those people and like how they view risks and they laugh at it. And I want to explain to you and to give you some insights that I've seen like this firsthand in a very raw, unedited, just like authentic video, sharing my lessons and like my challenges and how I kind of overcame them and how I view risk at this point that's helped me get to where I'm at today. I'm by no means like the most successful, the richest person in the world by any means, but I'm in my early 20s, I make over 45K a month, so I've seen some success, at least on my journey. And I want to is transparently share with you that your concept, if you think that risk is something that you want to avoid, and that investing in yourself, for example, or that starting to learn a high income skill, or starting an online business, or taking action on your goals, or doing something that people around you are not supporting you to do, if you view that as a risk, then your concept of risk is completely skewed, and that's going to keep you stuck. And I'm saying this because I used to do the same thing. I used to view like, okay, when I'm going to invest in myself, that's a big risk. When I'm going to take action on my goals and start an online business and do something that people around me might not support and take my own path, that's a big risk, you know? I remember, for example, when my parents were like, Alex, you shouldn't start an online business. It's stupid. You're going to lose all of your money. I bought my first course to learn from someone who's better than me. And my friend's family was like, you stupid. What are you doing? And I was like, shit, I'm taking a big risk right now. I'm taking a big like bet on myself at this point. What's happening right now with like AI and like where the world is heading, like realistically, you going out and investing in yourself and taking action on your goals, that's no longer a risk to do whatsoever. Because if you're watching this video right now, your baseline, like your worst case scenario, just like it was for me, it was not ending up on the street. It was not losing all of my money and ending up in a point where like I couldn't afford rent and shit. My worst case scenario from start, and the same thing for you as well if you're honest with yourself, is literally going into a 9 to 5. You can always go and like sleep on your parents' couch in their house. You can always go and get like a 9 to 5 on like some grocery store or some like as a barista or wherever. You can get a 9 to 5, you can make money. Like if you're watching this video, like you tell yourself that your concept of risk and how you're viewing risk is the reason why you're stuck right now. Because when you think like someone is successful, you realize that number one, the fact that we are young, if you're under the age of 30, there's nothing that you can do that's gonna put you in a position where you're gonna be like effed for life. It's just this internal thing that we have in our heads because we've been like since the what's it called, the Stone Age, since we were like fucking cavemen, we thought that okay, we're in fear, we're in danger of getting killed by an animal. Or whatever, getting killed by some other crazy person, you know? That does not exist anymore. So you going out and like investing in yourself to trying to achieve your goals, like the worst case scenario is you go back to most people's baseline. And most of you guys, especially like people who are like between 18 to 25 years old, they don't see this. They have this emotional, like they just act emotionally basically on everything. They want to take action on their goals, they want to change their life. Then they feel scared, they feel uncomfortable. Oh, it's a big risk, so I'm going to pull back and not do shit. And that's why their life stays the same. From a young age, like I always had this voice out of my head telling me that I wanted to do more in my life. But it took me way too long to understand that the concept of risks, the concept of doing something that you're scared to do and stepping into uncertainty, that's simply that's like your mind kind of testing you and the universe testing you to see if you have what it takes to actually succeed. Like that's literally the divide right there. The people that stay broke for their life end up in shitty 9 to 5s, end up having to marry like someone that is like a 6 out of 10 woman, and they have to go to a job that they hate with a fat boss telling them what to do, having to drive to work in like a Honda Civic, like people that live an average life overall, whatever that looks like for you. What defines those people? They think that everything is a risk. What defines someone who drives the Porsche to their job, or maybe works from home, who can give their wife the life that they want to give her? Let her drive a nice car, let her live in a nice house, retire her so she doesn't have to work, give your kids the life that you want to give them, travel with them, etc., give them freedom, give them abundance. What defines that person? It's simply that they view risks as opportunities. They see risks and things that other people are too scared to do, and they try those things. They realize if you go, especially at a young age, again, if you're 18 to 25, you take massive action and you move forward, and you realize that every single step that you take might not be a success, but it leads you forward. It gives you the skills and experience to get to your goal. They just have a different way of viewing risks altogether. And understanding this for me has been such a key thing, because what I realized is that when I invest in myself, when I start new business ventures or try new things or do stuff that I'm scared and uncomfortable to do in all areas of my life, I realized that the goal is simply as like going through these failures, going through these learning lessons, that's ultimately what failures are, to achieve my goals. And successful people, they don't make less mistakes. The thing is, they're not scared like poor people. They're not scared. Poor people are scared to like, oh, what if I fail? What if this is the wrong decision? They're sitting there for months trying to analyze different decisions. Whereas the successful person, the person who's achieved your goal already, they've simply just gone out and taken action and failed a couple of times and then achieved their goal. So the question I wanted to ask you, and the question I had to ask myself and get really honest with, is like, what would I rather do? Would I rather sit there and analyze and try to like avoid failures and not do shit? Sit there in indecision and not get close to my goal whatsoever? Or would I only be the person who's going to go out and just take massive actions, go through failures, go through hardships to actually achieve the dream life that I want to achieve? Who do I want to be? Because it's not easy. I'm not going to say that it's easy to take the path of working for yourself and being able to get freedom, making 10K a month. It's definitely a lot of hardships I have to go through. But it's like, would you rather be sitting there like broke, analyzing and in a 9 to 5 or working for someone else because you're trying to come up with the perfect plan, trying to analyze and avoid all failure? Or would you rather be the person who's going out there, fail a couple of times, but then made it big and have the life that you want? I think it's pretty obvious, right? But you need to just reframe how you view risk. And when you do this, again, especially if you're young right now, you have so many, it's essentially unlimited bets you can take. If you're like 18, 25, even if you're like 27, 28 right now, you have so many like just spins. You can just like go and spin the casino thing, like the arm on the casino, you know? You can just pull that arm over and over again and just try, because there's no like downside. Worst case, you go into a 9 to 5, you make money, you sleep on your parents' couch, so you'll be fine. But the upside that you're probably not even looking at right now is that everything changes. And the truth is that if you take action, if you just follow the path will align as you walk it, but it appears only as you start taking action. When I bought my first course to get into an agency, I didn't know that that agency would not work out, but it would lead me into learning sales. When I got into high-ticket sales, I didn't know that I was going to start off as an appointment setter that would then lead me into becoming a closer. When I became a closer, I didn't know I was going to become what I'm doing right now, where I make over 40K a month doing sales management. And during this time, I've invested multiple times in different programs, different networks that led me to unexpected events. You never see the path where you are right, where you're sitting right now. And that's the issue. Analyze, trying to perfect the plan is never going to lead you forward. You start, you take action with what you got from your current situation, with the resources that you have right now, and then that leads you forward. And as long as you just keep taking action, getting to where you want to go, you will learn the skills on the way, you will get connections, everything opens up to people who move. So my question is that going to be you? You let me know. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.